This is Seth David from the world-famous Nerd Enterprises Incorporated, bringing to you another special screencast. This time we're talking about an introduction to product modeling with Microsoft Excel, Part 3, Sales Reps. Previously on QuickBooks Excel Cash Flow and Technology, I went through two segments. One on an introduction to product modeling, which showed you how to lay out a simple financial model looking at what you sell, how many you think you can sell, and how much you think you can sell it for. And based on that, we built a simple model that looked at what my sales projections would be for a 12-month period. Then in the second segment, which was about 2 weeks ago from the time I'm recording this, I expanded upon the concept by showing you what it would look like if you built out the model, taking it a step further by actually showing you month by month exactly what the sales volume would be. In the first segment, we just put a simple assumption that said the sales would grow at a rate of whatever you set it at, 5% a month, let's say. And so in segment 2, you're able to do something more like what you see here, where you can go month by month and plot out exactly and specifically what the sales volume might be. Well, in this segment, what we're going to do is we're going to show you how to build it out based on salespeople, or how I did build it out based on salespeople. Now, as it works out, when I sat down to record this, and I really did try and do like a 10-minute version of this, but it was just impossible to get it all into 10 minutes and do the topic justice. So if you want the full-length version, it wound up being a 20-minute video, which is available for sale. You can sign up and have access to it for a month, which is more than enough time. You won't need more than probably 1 or maybe 2 sittings to go through it and understand how to write the formulas to get this to what it looks like right now, what you're seeing in front of you. In the meantime, in this free version of the screencast, I'm going to show you a little bit of what I did in order to accomplish what I wanted to. And in terms of accomplishing what I want to, let's take a look at that. What I really want to get to at the end of the day, if I look at a profit and loss, is I want to build out a P&L that shows me my gross product sales. This is the magic number that I want to get to. The question, of course, is in terms of how do I want to get there? And in this case, what I want to be able to do is I want to be able to lay the product model out in terms of salespeople. So I need to have, in this case, I built it based on 4 salespeople, and we already had set up 3 products in the previous models, so we're gonna, I stuck to that, and then I wanted to be able to give myself the flexibility to establish, if I want to, a separate commission rate for each product for each salesperson. So it takes more work to do it this way, but when it's done, you have a lot more flexibility, because now I can say, you know what, for salesperson 1, for product unit A, I want to pay a little higher commission rate. Let's say I want to pay 7%. For that matter, salesperson 2, maybe I just want to pay a 4% commission rate because they're newer. And so you kind of see where this is going. And then I want to say salesperson 3, let's say we leave them at 5%, and salesperson 4, let's say they're the newest salesperson, and they're on a trial of 1%. Now the other thing I needed to do, which I didn't do in the original video, is I need to set this all equal to whatever's above so that it's consistent, because these commission rates are of course used to calculate the commissions. They have no impact on sales because the sales volume is it's set up, it's irrespective of the commission rate, right? But the commissions change now that I updated the commission rates down here. And as I pointed out in the prior videos, it's very important to make sure that you put that you set things equal, that you don't duplicate any data entry. So once you establish something like the commission rates here, then down here it should always be based on a formula tied to whatever's showing up here. This way I can change it up here and know that it's going to update throughout the entire spreadsheet. So now if I want to change salesperson 1 to 7.5% across the board, I can change all 3 of them and everything updates down below. And the commission rates, the commission sale, or the commission dollars rather, that have to be paid out have now changed. Still the same amount every month because the sales are still the same every month. But now we can come back and we can adjust this and say, all right, let's say the first quarter is low, but in the second quarter, and let's do what I did last time and set everything equal to whatever is to its left, and that's easy to do. You just highlight the range, hit an equal sign, and you can use your arrow keys on your keyboard or point immediately to its left. But now by holding down the control key while I press enter, it will update the entire range, and it will update the formula, accordingly and consistently, and based on what I've been talking about in terms of relative references. So right now, the cell that I actually wrote the formula in is here at I3, and I said set it equal to H3. But as I move across now, J3 is equal to I3, K3 equal to J3, and so on. So the formulas copy according to relative references. Now what that enables me to do is I can now say, let's assume that maybe in the second quarter we typically have an increase in sales. Right, so let's just increase it by 1.5%. Right, we multiply it by 1.05, so it comes up. Second quarter, let's say the third quarter we drop down again. Right, so we can take that and say, let's say it gets really slow now, times 85% of what it was in the previous month. And in the last quarter of the year, let's say it's holidays, so we really boost our sales, so times 1. And we had gone up 5%, then we went down by 15, right? So let's just say we go back to up 20% from that point. And now what we've got is we've got our sales cycled based on the different quarters. So you'll see the sales are all calculated because this was set up properly to grab everything by formula. And of course the commissions all update. Now the commissions change with each quarter. And of course, if I go in and I change an individual salesperson's sales, everything will update accordingly. So that's the beauty of financial modeling and forecasting when you do it like this. When you spend the time and go into the extra detail like I've done here, it gives you a lot of flexibility. So you can look at all different kinds of scenarios, and ultimately, when you see a completely built out product model, you'll be able to understand and see the direct impact on cash flow. So what you can do is, like I said, go ahead and purchase the full-length version if you really want to learn how to write all the formulas to do this. It's not that complicated. It's basic mathematics. We're going to look at a sum-if formula. We're going to teach you how to do that. We're going to, basic mathematics, a lot of time spent on understanding the difference between a relative reference and an absolute reference and how to set that up to make sure that your formulas work, and how to write your formulas in such a way that once you're finished setting that up, you can easily copy and paste the formula down and across, so that this process, you don't have to sit there rewriting the formula 50 times in order to complete a table like this. You only have to write the formula once and then maybe adjust it a couple of times, because as you'll see in the full-length video, my formulas don't work the first time every time. I have to go in and make adjustments and figure out what did I miss, what went wrong. Then in the other thing we're going to teach you is how to use a VLOOKUP. We're going to teach you how to use a VLOOKUP formula to grab the price for the different products so that you can calculate the commissions properly. Over here you didn't need a VLOOKUP formula because everything sort of corresponded just fine, although now that the VLOOKUP's there and everything's in place to do it, you could theoretically rewrite this formula using a VLOOKUP. Just isn't necessary, at least not at this stage. And the idea again is, if you started back at the first video from the first segment, what you can hopefully see, and what I was hoping to impress upon you, is that you want to start simple. You want to start with a simple model and then build and make it more and more complex. Build it out. It's not much different than building a house. First you lay the foundation and then you can expand upon that and build upon that. And this works the exact same way. I started off with a simple model that just said, here's the number of units I expect to sell, here's what I'm charging per unit, multiply that out. Let's assume a steady increase each month, multiply that out, and boom, that was segment one. Segment two said, let's break that out. Forget about a steady sales increase each month, because most businesses are cyclical, so let's arrange it so that I can plot out specifically what my unit sales are for each of the 3 products for 12 months. And we did that in segment 2. And now here in segment 3, we've got it built out in great detail such that you can really get in here and have a lot of flexibility and predictability in terms of plotting out what are my sales going to be, what will I have to pay out in commissions, and now coming back to the profit and loss, I can see what my expected gross profit will be. And I can look at that as a percentage of income, the gross profit percentage. Then I can start building my general administrative costs, and I have to start building more assumptions around that, and that's something we will see in a future segment at QuickBooks, Excel, Cashflow, and Technology. As always, I hope you're having an absolutely fantastic day, and I look forward to seeing you on the web.